Let's hear exactly what Ukraine's president had to say about those claims in his nightly address.
If Russia calls and says that Ukraine is allegedly preparing something, it means one thing: Russia has already prepared it. I believe that now the world should react as harshly as possible.
Well, let's cross then to Ukraine, talk to our correspondent Gulliver Cragg, who joins us from there. So, Gulliver, these rather strange accusations of a possible preparation of a dirty bomb. What's the reaction from there in Ukraine?
Well, Dmytro Kuleba, the foreign minister, similarly, I think to what Volodymyr Zelensky was saying, said that Russia often accuses its enemies of things that it's preparing to do itself. And so we should be worried by these remarks coming from the Russian defense minister. And the Ukrainian defense minister, Reznikov, also was talking along similar lines and said that the world really needed to react to Russia's nuclear saber rattling and would put these accusations from Sergei Shoigu into the same bracket, basically. And he called for a reaction according to Article 4 of the Budapest Memorandum, which is the memorandum signed in 1994 when Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons. Article 4 of that memorandum says that the signatories must seek immediate Security Council action in the United Nations Security Council. The signatories are Great Britain, the United States and Russia, apart from Ukraine. And so Alexei Reznikov once again calling for the UN Security Council to do something about Russia's nuclear saber rattling. The problem, of course, is that Russia is a permanent member of the UN Security Council and has veto rights there. This is something that the Ukrainians, and not only the Ukrainians, an increasing chorus of international experts are saying needs to be changed. The argument that's lately being made by Ukraine for basically booting Russia out of the UN Security Council in order to get rid of its veto power is that Russia is in the United Nations Security Council on the basis that the USSR was a permanent member, and Ukraine is now questioning why it should have been Russia which just automatically took the USSR's seat when the USSR disintegrated. The Ukrainian representative to the United Nations, Sergei Kyselytsa, is increasingly becoming a sort of folk hero in Ukraine because of his rhetoric in that direction.
Gulliver, we were talking just before we came on air. You were telling me there are some very difficult reports coming in of the situation on the front line, particularly around Bakhmut.
Yes, well, a lot of attention is on Ukrainian counteroffensives in Kherson and Kharkiv region. In Donetsk region, around the city of Bakhmut, it's still the Russians who are on the offensive, and more specifically, it's mostly the troops of the Wagner mercenary group, yet led by Yevgeny Prigozhin. I've spoken to Ukrainian soldiers who say it's hell there. Media reports are saying that there are explosions every few minutes in the city of Bakhmut, which has become just like a ghost town. It's thought that about 15% of the population are still there, but they're very much staying indoors, being pummeled every day, though the Ukrainian army insists it is resisting this offensive.
Gulliver, thanks very much. Gulliver Cragg there, our correspondent talking to us from Kyiv.